Welcome, in front of me is a Nubia Z60S Pro, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna start off by opening up settings, and we can begin with the first customization section here, which is the themes and personalization. And you have a bunch of different things you can customize here, which some of the more interesting ones will be things like, for instance, the fingerprint animations right here at the bottom. So you can choose whichever one you want. This obviously only works if you have a fingerprint assigned. I'll stick with the default one right here. Then we have always on displays option, so you can choose to have always on display. We have also some kind of effects for unlocking the device. These are just more of a gimmick, I would say. Though based on how they look like, they do kind of give me more of a vibe for notification kind of thing, but you can see it's a screen wake up. So anyway, next we have colors and shapes. This allows you to tune all these kind of colors, like primarily blue, everywhere where we have it. So you can choose it to be defined based on the wallpaper, I believe, or you can just pick from the options that are listed right here. So here we have the wallpaper color picker. So you can choose it, and you can see it changes them all throughout the entire system. One thing to keep in mind with picking any of these, if it's not set to default, then for instance, if I go back right now, okay, so here we have a different icons. Now I'm not sure if they are not going to change all to the same color. Let's check it out. What? Where did the settings go? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it didn't change them to the same color, but you can see it's a much more kind of uniform. So we just have primarily like grayish, bluish, brown colors. Before we had much more diverse colors right here. So it might have looked a little bit more appealing. But this is just strictly for like the settings page. Everything else will obviously follow the more kind of uniform style. So instead of blue here we have brown. Maybe not the best color choice right here, but again, it's dependent on the wallpaper, and you can pick from already a predefined like options that we had right here. So could, for instance, go with the greenish kind of colors if I wanted to. Additionally, you can also change the shapes of icons and toggles once right here. So by default they're circular. You can change them to be more of a squarish, or like, I don't know, kind of like a message bubble almost. Now if we go back, we also have animation. Now this allows you to customize the animation speed. Default, you also have the slow and fast. So if you want animations to go faster, you can increase this right here. Pretty nice option. And then we have just more benign options like wallpaper, up icons, screen locks, and so on. One thing to keep in mind, under up icons, you can actually change the icons if you have some kind of icon packs. I believe you can change them here. You can also change the shapes and a little bit more customization. Anyway, going back, we can now move over to the display, and here we have several other options. Starting off with the dark mode at the very top as a first option. You can have it permanently enabled if you want to. I actually believe the device comes with dark mode enabled by default, if I'm correct. So you can turn it off if you don't like it. And below that, you have the option to set it up on a automatic schedule, so it will turn it on and off automatically either from sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer. As you can see right here. So you can basically utilize both modes at the same time and have the device pick the best one at the current time. Now additionally, we have color mode right here. These are, or at least here we have 3 modes that you can choose from, and these define how saturated the colors will be. So you have colorful, standard, and soft. And it seems like the further to the right you go, the less saturated it will be. So you can choose whichever one you want. If you want like very vibrant, kind of eye-catchy colors on the display, you are probably interested in colorful. Now if you're looking for something more toned down and realistic, then you probably want soft. And additionally, below, we have the color temperature. We have warm, normal, and cold. So it just defines how much blue or reddish tones you have to the display. Now going back in here and scrolling it down, we will have a couple additional options. Under full screen display, this is one option that you might want to utilize occasionally. This allows you to check applications, allow them to run in full screen, completely ignoring the status bar and the camera. So for instance, if you have something like a browser, you could toggle that on, assuming it actually is compatible and it shows up here. For some reason, the default browser doesn't show up here as one of those. But if I were to, for instance, give me a moment, I'm gonna bring my phone into view after I open up my settings. So I also have Z, but I have the Z70 Ultra, so a newer version. And in here we also have the full screen display. Great timing. And you can see I have a bunch of applications that I can do this with right here. And whichever application I enable, when I open it up, it will then go into kind of like a full screen mode. And as an example, you can kind of see it right here. So with browser being one of those, it protrudes or goes all the way to the top. There is a little bit of a wonkiness on this device where you have, for instance, the writing place, and you try to type something. I encountered that the field will actually not move up with the keyboard sometimes, or if you have some kind of search bar right here at the top, it will move up, and there is still a status bar, just kind of like transparent, so the content goes into it, and you might sometimes struggle with pressing it. But for instance, for applications that require you to, or you can watch videos in, for instance, those will work fantastically, as it will then expand the view, well, to the full like capability of the display, and you will just have the hole punched camera visible, but that would be all. So it gives you more immersive media consumption. I guess that would be the best way to describe it. But anyway, let's move over to the next options. Here we have also screen refresh rate, and we have several options, 60, 90, and 120. To be honest, most people, I would probably recommend the auto, which is set by default. But for the selected few that don't really see a difference between high refresh rate and like the 60, change it to 60. That will give you better battery life. I do see a difference, so I'm going to keep it at auto, as this allows the device to run at up to 120 Hz refresh rate when there's content that can be displayed at this refresh rate, and when there isn't, because for instance, sorry for the shake, there's nothing moving right here, the device will lower down the refresh rate to preserve battery life, which pretty good kind of solution. Anyway, next, let's move over to notifications and status bar. This is something that I really like that ZTE does. It's also one thing that Android at one point had by default, and nowadays I believe only like OnePlus and Oppo devices also have this, which is the option for you to edit the status bar and all of its icons that are visible. So you can toggle almost all of them off if you don't want them. So as an example, NFC was just turned off. And if you use something like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi all the time, there is really no reason for you to have these visible in the status bar, constantly cluttering it. So you can just completely hide them. But if you pull down your notifications, you can see that it's still turned on. So you have Wi-Fi, location, and NFC should be turned on somewhere as well. So it just allows you to clean up your status bar. And furthermore, you can also change the notifications right here. So either you have the 3 like notifications or 4 that are visible at a given moment. I think it's like most recent ones, or you can change it to, for instance, show you a number or not show you any notifications in the status bar. I myself like the number, as it just summarizes it to how many notifications you have, and then you can pull it down and see what the notifications actually are. And even furthermore, we have the battery indicator right here, and we have a couple options as well, so you can choose how the battery is being displayed. I like it the way it is, as it gives me just the indication of the battery along with the percentage of charge inside of it. So it's still clean, minimal, but it gives me info that I need. Now let's go back to the main settings page, and we're gonna now move over to features. And here we have some additional things. So we have the slider options. Yep, there we go. Actually, I was looking for the slider on the wrong side, as the Z70 has it on the opposite one. So yeah, we have the slider option. Now, because the Z lineup is primarily designed for photos, by default it will launch camera. So just like got it. And you can see that it is right now just running camera. But in here you can see we have a couple additional options. We have game space, which is what the Red Magic lineup does with the slider. We have flashlight, a voice recorder, and a switch to sound modes, so it allows you to go to like from loud to mute, which is pretty nice. And we have some other ones, so toggle the switch to street mode. Not exactly sure what that is. Oh, it allows you to actually change the camera modes, so you can have it front or rear camera when you flip it on automatically. Let's see if we have some other ones for instance, voice recorder. Nope, nothing here. Sound. Okay, it allows you to change what happens with the sound when you flip it, so you can go to silent or vibrate. So there we go, to a bunch of interesting options right here. To be fair, I personally like the flashlight right here the most. I don't really care for much of the other options, as it allows me to just quickly launch the flashlight by flipping the switch. It's super handy. And I personally use flashlight actually quite often. So that is something that I personally like to use. Things like cameras or other things I can also quickly launch without needing to flip a switch, but you have camera like right here. Might not open a specific mode, but still a pretty quick camera access. Let's go back. Game space. I don't really play games on my phone, so that is to me personally redundant. And also the game space right here, you can still play games without the game space. The space itself allows you to have a little bit more control over your games, which actually let's toggle that on, as it will be a good thing to also showcase. So when enabled, let's just quickly scroll through this. Start. Do we have the options right now? Nope. Trying to figure out where is the... Let's just include this. Okay, so it's now optimizing it. Cool. And there we go. Come on. Okay. So once you have an actual game launched, though, this is a browser. Okay, so it won't flip, unfortunately. You can see we have a bunch of options right here. So we have things like touch accuracy, screen recorder. We have refresh rates, connectivities, optimizations. So it kills tasks in the background. We have screenshots and a bunch of other things right here. On the other hand side, though, we have options for the modes. So you can kind of increase or decrease the performance, if I remember correctly. We have key remapping. This might be interesting, though. I think it's more interesting for games that, or not games, but phones that actually have these physical buttons somewhere here, or at least the touch capacitive ones, like the Red Magic does. We have macros, which is pretty interesting for gaming purposes. Now this text is pretty small, so I'm kind of like holding it up closer so I can see. So yeah, a couple additional options in here for just customizations. Anyway, let's go back home. There we go. So anyway, going back to the actual option right here, you can choose whichever one you want. In gaming, like you've seen, there's a bunch of additional options for games, as well as I think by default it will block notifications, so you have uninterrupted just sessions. Okay. So let's move on. We have gesture and motions. So here we have one thing that I kind of like to enable, which is the either rise to wake. By default, the device doesn't light up also when it gets notifications, which I'm going to show you in a second how we can enable that. But we have Rise to Wake, and we should have Tap to Wake Up screen somewhere, but I don't see it. Anyway, so we have Rise to Wake. Now for the notifications, we would actually need to go back to the notifications and status bar, and in here to find it somewhere. Not this. Oh, there we go. We have it right here, screen wake up. So turn on screen automatically when receiving notifications. So this is something that is turned off by default. Obviously, it might be something that you are interested in when you're getting a notification. By default, you just have a little vibration or a sound if you have sound enabled. And that's about it. With it, it will wake up the screen so you can actually see the notification. So, in my opinion, a pretty handy option. And last thing that I wanted to go over is the gesture navigation or button navigation, if I can actually find it quickly, which I don't actually remember where it was. Probably in features. Yep, system navigation. So we have two different navigation methods, the button navigation and gesture. And under gesture, we have additional settings, so you can increase or decrease the sensitivity of the left and right back swipe. And when you start moving it, you will get this side blue area, which you turn off the dark mode so it's a bit more visible. So you can see by making the number higher here, you have a basically easier time of activating the back gesture. So the area where your finger needs to start the gesture and move outside is much greater. So if you go with the lowest one, you will need to be precise with the back gesture, otherwise it will just kind of consider it as a swipe to this side instead of a back gesture. And we also have the display button indicator, which is the I'm just going to enable this little thing at the bottom right here. Other than just how it looks like, it serves no actual purpose, so I do like to have it turned off, and that is actually how it is set by default. One last thing in here that I personally don't like and I like to turn off is the Google Assistant. Now, if you ever activated Google Assistant by mistake while trying to go home and you can't figure out how the hell you're doing this, it's this option. It's a diagonal swipe from the corner, which activates your Google Assistant. I don't use it at all, so this is an absolutely annoying feature for me, and I sometimes activate it even though I just wanted to go home and my finger happened to be too close to the corner. So this allows you to just get rid of it. But anyway, with that being said, this concludes the tweaks and tricks that I want to show you. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.